Good afternoon. We're pleased to be here at the ASCRS Annual Meeting in San Diego and the ASOA meeting in San Diego with Hayley Boling. Thank you, Hayley, for being with us today. I know you're speaking today about practice management, such an important topic. I'd like to have some pointers, if we could, about the importance of employee onboarding. Whenever we have someone new coming into the practice, we need to make sure that they feel welcome and that they're joining the culture that we've hired them for, and that they're going to be a productive member of the practice. So welcome, and can you give us some pointers on that, please?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me first and foremost. This is a topic that I am absolutely passionate about, and the reason is because at the end of the day, how we onboard new employees, whether they're a call center personnel or if they are a doctor or a refractive surgeon, whoever it may be, it is our responsibility to make sure that we are giving them all the tools that they need to be successful in their new roles with the practice that they're joining. And so it really comes down to making sure that they understand not only what they're expected to do on a daily basis, but what type of culture are they joining? Are they expected to be a kind of a work hard, play hard culture? That's how my practice is. We have a lot of fun together. But also some other practices are very, kind of more stiff, buttoned up. And so you need to really figure out, who are you? What type of practice are you? So that the doctor or the employee can also join it and be successful.
So I would assume, Hayley, that this a lot of this evaluation probably starts before this new person is hired, because during the interview process, you're trying to make sure that the person that you're onboarding fits in with the current culture.
Yes.
Although at a counterpoint, perhaps if your culture is more one way or the other and you'd like to start shifting that culture a bit, maybe a new hire could also help in that culture shift as well.
Absolutely. So the culture that you want for your organization, you have to figure out early, definitely early on in the process. And then, so in our practice, we hire based on attitude and train for skill a lot of times. But we also do that with the doctors. If they don't have the right attitude, if they don't have the right servant's heart, they're probably not going to fit in well with our overall culture. And so when you're talking about lay staff members, oftentimes we live in non-certified states. And so we're finding people from different industries. But if they have the right attitude, that right kind of twinkle in their eye, the right wanna, we can almost always train them to be amazing employees. But you're absolutely right.
I like that mantra. Can you tell us again? We
hire based on attitude and train for skill.
Hire based on attitude and train for skill. I like that, because if you have the right person who has the right attitude about them, then you can train them the exact skills that you need them to do in the job in order to fit in with the culture that you've established or you're trying to establish.
Absolutely, and oftentimes they end up being even better employees that come to you with experience. So you don't have any bad habits that you have to break but we've always done it this way. Processes. You get to go ahead and say, this is how we do it at this practice, and we're super proud of the way that we execute our tasks on a daily basis.
Hayley, I know that you mentioned a little bit earlier off camera about shadowing. How does that play a role in this onboarding process?
Absolutely. So onboarding is it should be a pretty formal process, and so it should be consistent for every single person that you bring on board. So in my practice, for example, the very first day, they get a welcome basket, they get, Bowling Vision Center swag, so they're walking around in stuff that looks like they belong. We go out to lunch together. They get to learn a little bit about our mission statement, our values, our vision. They get all of that. But then after that, once they get all the warm fuzzies, the feel goods, the meets and greets, we want to make sure that they understand how their piece of the puzzle actually fits into the overall practice. Because if you think about it, we are all interdependent on one another. Without the call center, we don't get people scheduled. Without the technicians, we don't get people worked up. Without our front desk, we don't get co-pays and deductibles collected. Without the optical, we don't get those glasses on people's faces. So we are 100% interdependent on one another. So we actually go ahead and provide job shadowing opportunities within that first week so that everybody has a good understanding of how they fit into the practice and how each and every practice part fits together. So it's a big piece of the puzzle.
So I want to make sure I understand this correctly. This means that if somebody that you've hired for a specific task, let's say maybe they're a call center staff, you're going to have that person sort of shadow along with the other moving parts of the practice so that they can see what everybody else does, and that they are perhaps more readily able to address patients' concerns that might not be within their day-to-day sphere.
Absolutely, and that goes to making sure that they have the opportunity to shadow our doctors, not only in the examination lanes, but also in surgeries as well, because when they have the opportunity to see what we do on a daily basis, they really have that understanding that they're a part of something much bigger than themselves, and when they feel as though that they're a part of something like that, it really allows them to have that job ownership and that overall sense of pride and sense of belonging.
Well, Hayley, this has been such a terrific discussion
you.
for us this afternoon about how important it is to onboard new employees properly. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for sharing your expertise, and thank you to our live audience for your support as well.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.